So guys, many more voices calling on the Tinubu's government to release the names of terror financiers in Nigeria. This is coming after the United States came out to say they are already taking decisive actions against all those involved in the instability and the insecurity happening in Nigeria. Like you can see here, this headline says, name terror sponsors, corp rising kidnapping, Pegasus urges federal government. Also, Marco Rubio said something on his Twitter handle. This is what he said like day before yesterday. He said the United States is taking decisive action in response to the atrocities and violence against Christians in Nigeria and around the world. The State Department will restrict U.S. visas for those who knowingly direct, authorize, fund, support, or carry out violations of religious freedom. This visa policy applies to Nigeria and other governments or individuals that persecute Christians for their religious belief. US said they are going to target all those who authorize them, who fund them, and their supporters, those who support this terror, and those, who are involved in all this. The United States said they are not going to go free. Now, Nigerians are calling on Tinubu to release the names that UAE gave to Nigeria for a very long time, even under the Buhari's government. And this other headline here says, U.S. moves visa ban over alleged Christian killings in Nigeria. Now, take a look at this headline here. This is what the U.S. said in 2022, that the U.S. Treasury sanctions 6 individuals raising funds in the United Arab Emirates to support Nigeria's Boko Haram terrorist group. So the U.S. did their own part, but till now, the names that were given to Nigeria to do its own part, the Nigerian government has not done that. That is what people are saying, that Tinubu should start naming and shaming those who are sponsoring terror in Nigeria. Now, I'm just going to allow you to take a look at this discussion over, the financiers and the names of those involved in terror. But before then, take a look at this short clip to hear what the Tinubu's government is saying about releasing the name. Just take a look at this short clip.
Without wasting much time, let me start off with you, Prince Francis Chilaka. There's a revelation made by Daniel Bwala, spokesperson of the president, talking about how the government is ready to bring out the list that contains the name of terrorism financiers in Nigeria. Recall, we have a name already, 400 and something names being given to the past administration, or rather to the president, because we know the government is continuing. And later we'll have another one, 0 down to 14 names, also made available to the president. Zazagola also printed out another information, talking about people who are financing this, even the Bureau of Change offices and how the monies are being wired and all that. So why do we need another time or extension for people to be prosecuted and also offices, organizations to be brought to book?
This government is, the more you look, the less you see. It took Mr. President 2 years to give us a list of ambassadors. And when the list came out, it's nothing to write home about. It was just like the same list that happened during the prerogative of mercy. So a government that wants to act, a government that is on, that is moving forward, a government that knows what it's doing, you don't need to tell people you want to release. Let the government start by saying, okay, the 400 names that was given, publish it. Let people know. You see, what the government doesn't understand about this whole idea of putting out there those who are responsible for sponsoring terrorism and banditry is that once those names are out there, you've cut off the lifeline of these bandits. And that's how it works. But I think the government is not being, nobody's taking the government serious anymore, because we know that when the list comes out, we may likely see names that will shock us.
Now, when you say no one is taking the government seriously, recall that there was a list made available. We talked about that already, during the time of the former president, Buhari. And it was more like no one said anything about it. No one is willing to tell Nigerians what is happening. So don't you think at this point, with the revelation made by Bwala, that in no distant time, Nigerians will have access to these people, or even in the international world, will have access to these persons and other organizations? Don't you think that's more like a work in good direction? Recall also that today, today we learned that the Defense Minister, Badero, resigns. He cited health issue and all that. And he said something about the incessant insecurity in Nigeria leading to his resignation. Let's also look at what Ribadu talked about. He said he went somewhere, or rather that the people, the children kidnapped from the St. Mary's Catholic School in Kotangora in Niger State are in good shape. Are we seeing the government?
Well, let me take it from Nuhu Ribadu. If he's saying that they're in good shape, has he seen them? Has he communicated with them?
Probably that's what it means.
Because the bishop of Kotangora has come out to say nobody has given us any information. You know they've had a protest on Sunday. The families of the kidnapped children. You know why they went on protest? Because the governor said what he shouldn't have said. The governor said, "Oh, these children are not kidnapped; rather they are missing." That's the height of insensitivity. And that is the way government sees it.
So when you say if he has maybe reached more like talk to them or that, he also said something about them being taken care of, well taken care of. No room for Allah. We shouldn't be alerted.
See, when you say they are being taken care of, what it means is that you know where they are. You know the people holding them. Look at the one that happened in Katsina. Bandits had the temerity to do a video talking to the children, asking them questions and telling them that we are letting you go not because of the force of your government, but because of the negotiations that has come out with your government. So if the Bible is not telling Nigerians that, oh, these children are in safe hands, they are being taken care of, then it means that the Bible knows where these children are.
Okay. All right. Mr. Elvis, let's bring you into this conversation. We have followed it. So now we have Daniel Bwala come to tell us that, look, the names, the names that were given to the government, previous administrations, I think it's more than how many years now? It was during the Buhari era, administration, and we didn't do anything, up until this moment that we are under pressure, the heat is on us to do something by the United States of America. That was not the only list, I think twice. Now we hear the presidential spokesperson say, look, we are working on it very soon, we are going to make it open. In the first place, is that what the government should tell us, that they are working on the list? Or government telling us that, look, we have apprehended, names on those lists, and we are actually, as a matter of fact, prosecuting them and trying to cut off that supply? What should it be? What should the government tell us at this moment?
Well, the government is telling us that they are working on the list. Let us believe that probably they don't want to. This is a government that will be publishing names of dead people, even in board directors and appointments. So probably they want to scrutinize this list so that the trajectory they are known for, publishing names of people that are not alive, people that are elderly, people that are even doing well in their respective businesses, and the government now calling them on board. Maybe they want to scrutinize that list and make sure that before they release it to Nigerians are the real genuine terrorist sponsors that Nigerians have been hoping for. The list is overdue quite well. We have been hoping for this because I keep telling people that the boys, those ragtag boys in the bush that comes out to take AK-47 to pick Nigerians into the bush, they are not the terrorists, Mr. Koro. Those boys are not the terrorists. Those boys are just victims of circumstance. Those boys are some of still the ones that are still on the street now, Amajeri, whom the northern state governors refuse to take care of. So when opportunity of this nature comes, they don't even know what the opportunity is all about. They just fall victim. If you cut the lifeline by arresting these the terrorist sponsors and prosecute them, those boys will be hungry in the bush. They'll come out, they'll drop this gun. Once there is no bullet on that gun, their power is defeated. Once there is no food, their power is gone. Those boys are just like what we saw during that protest when we started seeing children holding a different country flag, and those children were arrested because they just hold that flag. They don't know what they were holding. That's the same thing you see with these boys. If these boys don't have motorcycles, petrol that motorcycle to move to the town, those motorcycles will be useless.
All right, Elvis, when Buhari became president, a lot of Nigerians felt that, because of his campaign promises and all of that, that insecurity was going to end in 6 months. Former head of state, military general, and all of that, a lot of Nigerians believe that, look, we'll come to an end of this. But it didn't happen. Instead, it festered, under his Now, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, there was a political angle to it. Okay, there's this conspiracy theory that the North is using it for something, and that Tinubu was going to fight it. We haven't seen that. He's dilly-dallying, he's tiptoeing around all those issues. Do you think that there is another political coloration, around his inability, quote and unquote, to fight this insurgency, terror, insecurity? Because as a matter of fact, as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, he has what it takes. Jonathan did it. He tried to push back, and they said, no, we don't do that. Politics again. So what will be the political coloration this time?
His second term. It's as simple as that. By the time they get into Aso Rock, let me tell you, the politicians are not interested in you and I. They're interested in the next election, how to get themselves back. They have stooge who sell this dummy to them when they get into the seat of government. The president now just become like a weakling, even though he's having all that big paraphernalia, that big toga as president and commander-in-chief. The people will tell you, this is not the time for you to do this because you are coming for a second term. That's what you are saying. And again, all the people you are seeing, even the list you are expecting, you'll be disappointed because most of the names that are going to be in the list are not even going to be the real name. The major names that are perpetuating this insecurity are the major financiers of politicians. Their names will not be there. So these are some of the reasons why the president gets there and feel like he's handicapped because he wants to get back to the office for a second term, not minding whether Nigerians are in the bush, Nigerians are killed daily, slaughtered daily, or whatever.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. Let's take the conversation to Joseph Igoche, who is a security expert. Good morning, Joseph Igoche. Good to have you join today's conversation.
Good morning, viewers.
All right, please, I would like to get your opinion on, what we're talking about terrorism and the promise made by Daniel Bwala from the presidency saying that Nigerians will soon have the names of terrorism financiers in Nigeria. But I would like you to look at the information made available by Ribadu that at this point to have the United States, France, UK providing support to Nigeria to end the issue of insecurity. I think 2 or 3 days ago, we also got an information that the US have cited their base somewhere in Ghana. And then from there, they are coming into Nigeria with sophisticated equipment to, help survey the land, to know where they are going to, bombard if need be and all that. How do you think these whole measures are going to help to end the issue of insecurity in Nigeria?
Good morning once again, viewers at home. My co-host in the studio. I still remain Igoche Joseph, a security expert. Well, we will be saying these things down without number, and I think there's nothing new about this issue of terrorism anymore. We keep saying the same thing often and often. I think the only link that is missing is the action about the people who have the will and who has the power, who have the resources to let it work. So terrorism globally has become a competitive business, and we have quite a number of people that have invested all their own life and resources into this, and they want to make it profitable. So it's not something you go to them, begging them, pleading with them. You either take it by force or you let it go. So we are at the point of we allow them to continue to turn our country to a battlefield, to a business venture, to an oil field where they'll keep feeding and welling and get all sorts of things and go away, or we combat them head on. I think the promise of making the list, the name of the sponsors public and all sorts of things. Well, for me, it's not mentioning the name that matters, but the action taken to curb all these insecurities all over the places. And even if they release the list today, what has that got to do? Does the list stop them? Does the list do anything to them? What are the consequences? Are we ready to fight these people? Are we ready to hold on to them? And I think the Nigerian government should be willing. They should have that political will to rescue this nation from the hand of these so-called terrorists. It's a global issue, and that is why you see the collaboration from the US, from other top world leaders, promising Nigeria that, okay, they are coming to help. I think every government should welcome that idea and should welcome them with all what we need to make sure that we fight these people and we fight to win.
When you say welcome them with everything that they need, there was a revelation also being made by another top Nigerians about how some parts of Nigeria and Nigeria and Chad, have been marked out to be the world terror headquarters. And it happens to be somewhere in the north, within the Lake Chad axis and all that. How do you think we'll be able to combat these people, even when some are beginning to give it, more like a supremacy connotation, that some people, not Africans now, but some people, maybe from the West or the East, are sponsoring the issue of African terrorism?
That we need to combat them. See, we need a super force. We need a force that is more higher than what we are deploying now. Presently, Nigeria rely on non-kinetic energy. Oh, let's go and beg them. Let's go and plead with them. They keep multiplying. They get the money tomorrow. They kidnap. I'm from Benue State, and I've been victim of it. Anytime I speak about terrorism, I can say thousands of Nigeria doesn't have the feel the way I have the feel. It's not something like bread and butter, This guy came from nowhere and do whatever they wants to do and left the entire country, just the way it is. So what I'm saying in essence is this: the way it is now, and right now the way it is, if we want to really fight terrorism, I don't think it's something that is within the power of Nigeria as a nation. Even if we have the power, we have the political will. Are the people at the helms of affairs now who are supposed to lead this war against terrorism, in one way or the other, are they not complicit in this case? So many interests will begin to come. So we need people that have this equipment, the right tools, and the right mindset. The mindset, first of all, the mindset, pull your resources together. The mindset makes whatever weapon you want to deploy to work. So what is our mindset? How do we view these people? Do we see them as a criminal? Do we see them as people to be eliminated? But when we still see these people who feed on human beings, who cannibalize people, and we are still seeing them as human, then there is going to be a problem. They don't see us as human. They see us more or less like, just let me say, more like food of they don't see us the way we see them.
All right.
So what I'm saying in essence is this: it's a welcome idea, it's a welcome development for the world leaders, the US, the other big countries are coming to help us to regain the land. So there is no way we can downplay these things. It's not something that we can handle on ourselves, because when we give it to ourselves to handle, we begin to bring religion into it, we begin to bring sentiment into it. Oh, this is a political issue, this is not a political issue, and the real things are growing, and Nigeria are falling victim every day.
Interesting.
Now nobody can travel home anymore.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Goche, for your submission. Honorable Ejiofor Iguatu, let's get your opinion on this topic. As a politician, what do you make of the call by Reverend Dachomo that the Muslim ticket to have in Nigeria is what is for the fuel and the issue of insecurity? He's calling for the removal of Nuhu Ribadu and also the Vice President Shettima. What do you have to say about this? Because people are talking about Nigerians not having, or Nigerian government not having the political will to end the issue of insecurity. And it's more like the terrorists are gaining sympathizers all over. What do you have to say about this, please, the Muslim ticket?
The US President Donald Trump has his women president, because in two cases, ruling that refusal quickly amid the conversation between the two presidents comes amid.
All right, I guess we're having a glitch because there's a little interference. I can hear you properly. Okay, and I would like for you to sort yourself out, then we can get back to you. But in the meantime, let's bring it back to the studio. Prince Francis Chilaka, you get the question I asked earlier to Honorable Ejiofor Iguatu about the Muslim ticket and the political will. Because some Nigerians with the opinion that seems to have a president who is a Muslim, and also the vice president a Muslim, the NSA a Muslim, and all that. It's more like playing the religious sentiment on the issue against terrorists.
The state of nepotism that we have in governance today was actually fueled by the former late president, Muhammadu Buhari. And I think, unfortunately, what has played out is this administration has copied, like Nigerians do. Nigerian leaders, when they go abroad, when they want to copy the things they see abroad, they copy the worst part of it and bring it back home. So this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration has copied the worst side of the late president and is applying it. When the issue of Muslim ticket came up, I was one of those who spoke against it. I said, it does not reflect who we are. It does not show the unity that we're trying to build. It does not show the fact that we want to shake hands across the Niger. But a lot of people felt, oh, it doesn't matter. We even had some men of God who came and said, it doesn't matter. But today, everybody's feeling it.
Does it really matter? Because
it matters.
I could recall that Abiola also have a running mate who was a
As at the time of Abiola
and Babagana
Kingibe, exactly. As at the time of Abiola and Babagana Kingibe, we have not been divided the way we are today. As at that time, nobody knew who was a Muslim and who was a Christian in Nigeria. But this set of politicians we have used religion and tribe as a weapon to divide the people.
When you made mention of the former administration, we have the president, a Muslim, and then the vice president was a Christian. How did the issue of insecurity play out there? It was a big balance.
Let me tell you something. I say with all sense of responsibility. If you go back to 2013, 2014, and you listen to the campaigns of the former president, I told people, I said, he was shouting change. Nigerians were shouting change. And when he came, what did he do? He changed Nigerians. And that changing means that he opened the route for this insurgency that we have today. And we had expected that coming with, first time in the history of our political life, we were having a core politician. Somebody that was sold to us as a master strategist. Somebody that was sold to us as the man who built Lagos, despite the efforts of people like the late Lateef Jakonde, Fashola, and Ambode. But we were told that only one man built Lagos. And I was going to come and build Nigeria. But the Nigeria we have today is worse than it was when it came. So the truth of the matter is that whether you have a vice president, first of all, let us be sure of what we're saying in this country. A vice president is a spare tire. We all here sit down here, we have cars. How often do you use your spare tire? And that is the situation we have. We have a system that gives all the power to the president. If you follow the interview of our one-time president, Jonathan, he said something. And I think people Nigerians listen, they don't grasp. They don't meditate over what somebody says. He says he was, as an acting president, you're not the chief CNC. As the acting president, you're not the commander-in-chief. That you become a commander-in-chief when you're sworn in as a president. That you are sworn in as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and then you are given the authority as the commander-in-chief. The vice president is not the commander-in-chief. He is just there as an acting capacity. He doesn't have powers. Even during the time of Buhari and Oshibajo, you notice what happened. When Buhari was sick and went abroad, Oshibajo put some things in place, which Nigerians saw as a light at the end of the tunnel. When Buhari came back, what did he do? He switched off the light and brought us back to darkness.
But in this case, we know that the vice president said something. He said, let the man who turned Lagos into the largest economy within just few years be the one that will man the affairs of economy. Let the vice president, handle the issue of security.
Okay, let me ask you this, Fina. That's a good observation. Since this government came to power, tell me, what has been the status of Shettima?
He's been traveling and representing Nigeria.
Good.
But let's take the conversation to Honorable Ejiofor Egwuatu. Good to have you again, Honorable Ejiofor. Good to have you join the conversation once again. I was asking, as a politician, what do you make of the words of Reverend Dachimo blaming the issue of insecurity on the Muslim tickets that we have playing out now? He also is calling for the removal of the Vice President Shettima and also Nuhu Ribadu from the opposition, replacing them possibly with a Christian or maybe a traditionalist.
I think the issue is not about Ribadu as a person. The government is an institution, and the president and commander-in-chief is in charge of the government. So it is not about Ribadu as a person. I do not think Ribadu as a person will have all the capacity to destroy every plan of the government to fight terrorism. So I think it is a collective lack of political will by the government as an institution. The government has not shown Nigerians that they are really ready to fight terrorism. The government has not practically demonstrated a commitment that people can feel and touch, that they are ready to fight terrorism. I do not believe that removing one political appointee or the other will make a lot of difference. If the president stamps his feet on what he wants to be done, every political appointee under him must have to align with it and then make sure these things are done. So I do not see it from that angle of personal attacks on these people. But the long and short of this story is that the people are dying. People are dying. And government needs to do a whole lot to show us Nigerians that they are really in charge. The primary purpose of government is the security and welfare of the people. And if we continue to have this discussion every day without actions, it borders on national unity, it borders on patriotism, it borders on passion and love for the country. It kills the zeal of the younger elements who are growing up, who are coming up on the way they see Nigeria. The fact that Nigeria cannot protect them, it's a very shameful thing. So the government should do things that are showing capacity to destroy. You can listen to the National Security Advisor saying that the kidnapped students are doing very well, as if he went to serve them tea in the morning and serve them amala in the afternoon. So you feel they are doing well. How can people who were kidnapped and taken away from their families be doing well? What kind of well are they doing in a kidnapped environment? You can imagine. So these kind of things show lack of empathy. It shows lack of commitment to doing what is right. The government should wake up. A situation where terrorists will showcase that they are far above government, brandish money everywhere in this economy of lack. You can imagine how younger boys and girls who have not seen that kind of money will see. How will they picture it on the social media, where they see people who are supposed to be bad, who are supposed to be in prison,
showing off affluence and wealth, and then of course it encourages other people to want to go into crime. That's the situation that we're having. Thank you very much, Honorable Ejiofor Igwatu, for your contribution there. Let's bring it back to Mr. Elvis Elimehele. Now, Nigeria is part of the global anti-money laundering, a lot of global anti-money laundering organizations. Now, with that membership, and we see how terrorism financing has thrived in Nigeria, what greater implication would it have on Nigeria from the part of the international community when they see that, look, you're not really doing anything about terrorism and money laundering? The government has said they will come hard on banks that aid terrorism. What do you make of all of that? Is that something that should hold? Does that hold water?
Well, I think it's part of what we are expecting to hear from the government now. This releasing of this terrorist sponsors list, and also these banks. Because if you look at the volume of money, the humongous amount of money that passes through the hand of these bandits, especially when you're talking of payment of ransom, where do you get that money? Okay, if somebody is kidnapped and you are go and bring 50 million, is that 50 million in the house? It's somewhere. It's somewhere in the bank. And
you better withdraw that.
You need to withdraw. You don't do transfer to terrorists. And when you get to bank now, you and I, Moses, they will tell you they will not give you more than 20,000. They will not give you more than 50,000. But these people come, withdraw this money and take it to this bandit. Can't it be traced through that manner? So it shows that we have not really been serious about fighting this terrorism. most of the people you see, most of the bank MD should also be scrutinized adequately and investigate very well. Then in the area of talking about what Dachomo said concerning, let me tell you, this government, even if they were serious or not, when they came up with that Muslim ticket, Nigerians kicked against it. They went further to make caricature of the whole situation, mockery, by going to dress fake bishops. We saw it. That was where the true Christianity out of circulation in this nation that led to this massacre we started seeing, this genocide we started seeing that we are crying of. Nigerians condemn it. Even some people, somebody like Daniel Boala that is talking about coming to release the terrorist financial list now. Daniel Boala left APC because of that singular act then and said we went to join the PDP to campaign for Atiku Abubakar. Remember Babachi Lawal, the former secretary to the government of the federation, left the party then too. Nigerians protested, but this government insisted because they knew what they were coming to do. How do you go and dress up some kind of people, caricature and tell these are bishops? You don't know the paraphernalia of bishop. You don't know the office of bishop, how high ranking they are. They just made mess of the whole thing, and that's where we are. So that was the time they were giving opportunity and giving that boldness to these boys. So what we are seeing today started right from the time of campaign. If we were having a good electoral system, that was the time these people should have gotten to power. If our vote actually counts in this nation, we would have seen that because of the protest, Nigeria protested and voted. Yes. But unfortunately, INEC came and told us that there was a glitch. And that glitch today has not been explained. We have started seeing that the man who announced glitch is getting reward every day.
Does it seem like, if you know the financiers, you don't try them in public. A lot of them are being under the scrutiny. They've been under the scrutiny for a long while.
No,
but these are not
trial is different from tracking
by scrutiny. I mean trial. I mean identified.
Yeah, but why is it hidden? I don't understand.
Some of them local, international. Right? So trust me, it's not as if the government is not doing anything. The government has done a lot. In recent times, under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a lot is being done. A lot of them can't even ever think of financing anybody anymore.
Yeah, but
so
who are these people?
Work is in progress.
Who are these people? Why can't we know who they are?
No, the security.
I don't understand how you mean
security. You don't
if somebody is a criminal and is killing people and has led to the deaths of people, it is a major success for the government if that person is brought to book.
Yes,
and it shows the rest of us that the government is doing.
A responsible government would also showcase that person at the appropriate time.
And when might that be?
Very soon. Very, very, very soon. Trust me, work is in progress. The government is working. They're tracking. They're trying, these people, and there's a lot of international help as well that is helping us bring them to bear.
See, let me tell you, Nigerian government, banditry is a business of the APC. This APC, this Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it is their business. I will explain to you. When Bello Jonathan was president, he stayed there for 5 years. In those 5 years, you know how much he spent buying military gear to fight Boko Haram? He spent 679 million. 679 million, not up to $1 billion. Buhari stayed in office for 8 years. In those 8 years, he spent 260 billion. Jonathan, in 5 years, did not spend up to 1 billion. Buhari spent 260 billion. Guess how much Tinubu has spent to fight insurgents instead of buying military weapons and gas? Tinubu, in 2 years, has spent 559 billion. If Tinubu is not the owner of this industry they call banditry and Boko Haram, why is he not making profit from it? Having looked at how banditry and kidnapping Boko Haram came into Nigeria and how it has been perpetuated, I've got to conclude that bandits and kidnapping and Boko Haram and ISWAP is synonymous with the APC. It's a package. It's part of the APC government in totality.
So let me take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians after Marco Rubio tweeted about sanctioning Nigerians who are sponsoring terror. in Nigeria against Christians. Like I read the post before, the United States is taking decisive action in response to the atrocities and violence against Christians in Nigeria and around the world. The State Department will restrict U.S. visas for those who knowingly direct, authorize, fund, support, or carry out violation of religious freedom. This visa policy applies to Nigeria and other governments or individuals that persecute people of their religious beliefs. And let's see how Nigerians are reacting. This person say, thank you, SEC. Thank you, SEC. We do have many Nigerian terrorist sympathizers, as you noted already, also online, and they live in the US. Thank you for your attention to this matter. They live in the US. This one here say, this is the main reason the Nigerian politicians, especially the governors and National Assembly, are now pretending to be taking the matter of religious persecution in their country seriously. Dear Marco Rubio, the State Department must match words with action, even to the extent of asset seizures. And this person here said, performance. Try releasing the file of Nigerian president. He has a drug trafficking related criminal record in the US. You claim he is complicit in the killing, but his children still enjoy US protection. His daughter owns an expensive condo in New York. Hey, with a questionable source of income. You are not only unserious, you are also unfortunate. This person don't come. Honestly, see what Nigerians are tweeting. See how Nigerians are reacting. Now, this person say, how about their family members? Please, every one of them should feel the wrath of this evil. Another person say, thank you, Sec Rubio. However, I must draw your attention to the fact that some primary proponents of Sharia law in Nigeria reside in the US. For instance, Shakira Raji, who reside in Dearborn, MI, currently holds a prominent position in a leading advocate for Sharia in Nigeria. God, you see him? And then another person here says, stop the genocide in Nigeria. This person here says, Ren Omokre, Daniel Bwala, Bishop Matthew Kuka, Femi Ferikayode, Hyacinth Olia, Wole Soyinka, Bayo Ononoga, Dele Alake, Bola Tinubu, El-Rufai, Gimba Kakanda, Bulama Bukati, David Hunde. Can you imagine? These are terror financiers. God, just a few. Can you imagine? Hey, Nigerians, you people are scattering everywhere. And this was a prayer for Nigerian Christians. Over 50,000 Christians killed in Nigeria by Islamic extremists. Oh, God. Ban Sharia law, ban Muslim Brotherhood. US urged to pressure Nigeria to abolish Sharia law, disband Hijab over alleged religious persecution. The reality across Nigeria. This other person here say, a Nigerian ambassadorial nominee exposed that the Nigerian president Bola Tinubu is a drug lord. Hey, Bola Tinubu is a drug lord, praying for protection for Christians worldwide. And this person here said, sad reality from Nigeria, Muslims living in Christian countries. Ew, Christians living in Muslim countries. Can you see it? Muslims living in Christian countries are safe, while Christians living in Muslim, Nigeria is not even a Muslim country. You can imagine if Nigeria was to be a Muslim country, what will happen? Anyway, we will say Christians living in northern part, which is dominantly Muslims. This person said, thank you. If there are Nigerian supporters in America, please deport them to Zambia. Another person here said, look into confiscating the funds, assets of Christian genocide sponsors in Nigeria. Cut the funding, paralyze their supply chain before anything. May God give you and J. Trump, the chosen one, the wisdom to take on this call of duty from the kingdom of God. Another person here says, Sheikh Gumi must be the top person on that list. Even the Saudi government rejected him. Gumi is the CEO of terrorism in Nigeria. Another person here says, Rubio, one name, please. We know you guys are very busy with Venezuela, but don't forget to do the same to Nigeria whenever you people see small time. Visa ban is not enough. Or send Benjamin Woke Israel to do the job. Or you guys behave, but it's what behave. That one, no, they respect border. So Israel man know they don't respect border. Okay, this other person says, all the politicians in Nigerian Senate and House of Reps and Nigeria security appointees aided and voted to reintegrate known terrorists into the Nigerian state, leading to the death and displacement of millions of indigenous Christians. These politicians and security appointees fund, support, authorize, and carry out violations against Christians in the 40 states of the United States of Biafra. USB. These politicians, such as Charles Soludo, unlawfully arrested, detained, break innocent people's knee with Akodo pistol and by innocent unarmed Biafran Christians while continuing the milking of crude oil from Biafran land and perpetrating themselves into power. Christopher Musa, Bianca Ojukwu, Nuhu Ribadu, etc. collude with Finland to arrest Simon Ekpa and should never be anywhere near the United States of American soil. They and others have committed crimes against humanity. The dissolution of Nigeria must happen for the people to live and terrorism to abate. Okay, this is Ngozi Orabeze, Deputy Prime Minister. Okay, she was the one that wrote that. And this other person here said, proud of you, Secretary Marco Rubio, for taking decisive action against the persecution of brothers and sisters in Christ who have been facing hatred and violence in Nigeria around the world. God bless you and God bless the wonderful President Trump. This other person here said, I was invited to stop the genocide rally in Washington DC today. Scroll the page, can you imagine, for further coverage. Please remember the slaughtered women and children especially. America is the only country that has the power and resources to help persecuted Christians worldwide. This one says, I was invited to stop the genocide rally in... Okay, let me see what she has. Christians under siege. Nigeria is the deadliest place for Christians. Oh God, help us. And this other person here say, heartbreaking, Muslim terrorists attack Christian village in Nigeria, killing many. The ongoing massacre of Christians needs urgent global attention. The violence against Christian communities in Nigeria, particularly in the Middle Belt and Northern region, has escalated in recent years, with frequent attacks attributed to Islamic terrorists group like Boko Haram, ISWAP, West African Province, Fulani militias. For example, a June 2025 attack in Yelwata, Benue State, killed up to 200 Christians, with militants burning homes and attacking displaced persons. Since 2000, over 62,000 Christians have been killed, alongside 34,000 moderate Muslims, in what some call a silent genocide. Oh my God. This is what we can look forward to in America. If we don't address Muslim problem now, Muslims do not assimilate, they aggregate, infiltrate, and conquer. That's the plan. They will not succeed. They've been exposed. So this person said the weapons used by groups like Boko Haram and Fulani militias in Nigeria come from a variety of sources, reflecting both local and international network. Here is a detailed overview. Local sources and government involvement. There have been allegations that some weapons are sourced from within Nigeria itself, including from corrupt elements within the government and security forces. A Fulani headsman, for instance, claimed in an interview that the government officials supplied them with AK-47s, which they used to kill farmers and terrorize communities. This suggestion is troubling. Internal dynamic where the state actors might be complicit in arming these groups. Nigeria's porous border and weak border controls facilitate the smuggling of weapons. The country is part of a broader West African region where firearm trafficking is rampant, often involving small arms and light weapons that are easy to transport. The fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011 led to the proliferation of weapons in Libya, many which have been smuggled across the Sahel region into Nigeria. These weapons include AK-47, RPGs, and other military grade arms. The instability is in neighboring countries like Mali, where groups like GNIM, a coalition of Al-Qaeda affiliate group, operate, provides a conduit for weapons to flow into Nigeria. The collapse of international counter-terrorism efforts in the region has exacerbated this issue. International arms dealers and network supporters and networks supply weapons to various insurgent groups worldwide. International arms dealers, hey, and network supplies weapons to various insurgent groups worldwide, including those in Nigeria. The weapon can originate from conflict zones like Syria or Iraq, where stockpiles are looted and diverted. Some groups also manufacture improvised explosive devices and others rudimentary weapons locally, reducing their dependence on external supplies, but still requiring access to materials like explosives which can be smuggled or stolen. Boko Haram and similar groups have been known to capture weapons from Nigerian security forces during attacks on military outposts or during ambushes. This not only provides them with arms but also demoralizes the security apparatus. These are allegations. There are allegations of foreign support, particularly from groups like Islamic State, which have provided ideological and possibly material support to Boko Haram. This could include funding that is used to purchase weapons on the black market. This person wrote a very long piece. He concluded with this: the combination of these sources creates a complex web of supply and sustains the violence. The Nigerian government is addressing this issue. The Nigerian government's challenges in addressing this issue are compounded by corruption, lack of resources, and vast ungoverned spaces that these groups exploit. International effort to curb armed trafficking in West Africa has been inconsistent, further enabling the flow of weapons into the region. Wow, this person took time to write this. I think this made sense, honestly. This really makes a lot of sense. So guys, let me know your thought on this in the comment section below. Thank you.